During one of the long dark evenings just before Christmas, the master smith and his helpers sat in the dark forge near the furnace, waiting for the crude iron, which had been put in the fire to be ready to put on the anvil. So, anvil is a heavy iron block with a flat top and concave sides. So here the writer narrates, on one long dark evening near Christmas time, the master smith, the main iron smith, and his helper, they were sitting in the dark forge in that shop, which was built near the furnace. Furnace is the fireplace. And they were waiting for the crude iron, which had been put in the fire. So every now and then, one of them got up to stir the glowing mass with a long iron bar, returning in a few moments, dripping with perspiration, though, as was the custom, he wore nothing but a long shirt and a pair of wooden shoes. So this master smith, he was wearing a long shirt and a pair of wooden shoes, as it was a custom for them to wear this. He and his helper, they were waiting for the crude iron, which was put inside the furnace fire to be ready to put onto the anvil. Anvil is a heavy block, as I told you. They took turns to stir the liquid, which was very hot. As they could bear the heat for a few minutes, each of them would return, sweating profusely. All the time there were many sounds to be heard in the forge. The big bellows groaned and the burning coal cracked. The fire boy shoveled charcoal into the maw of the furnace with a great deal of clatter. Outside roared the waterfall, and the sharp north wind whipped the rain against the brick-tiled roof. So all the time there were many sounds to be heard in the forge. Fine. One could hear many types of sounds in the forge. There was a big bellow, airbag, that emits a stream of air used for blowing air into a fire. So there was a big bellow which was blowing air in the fire with great sound. Also there was the sound of cracking coal. One could also hear the bang of the charcoal which was being shoveled. Shovel means moved by the fire boy. The sounds which were coming from outside the mill, these were the waterfall, the high-speed north wind which hit the raindrops against the brick-tiled roof. It was probably on account of all this noise that the blacksmith did not notice that a man had opened the gate and entered the forge until he stood close up to the furnace. So due to these different types of sounds, blacksmith could not realize that a man had opened the gate of the forge and had entered till he came and stood near the furnace. Surely, it was nothing unusual for poor vagabonds without any better shelter for the night to be attracted to the forge by the glow of light which escaped through the sooty panes and to come in to warm themselves in front of the fire. The blacksmiths glanced only casually and indifferently at the intruder. He looked the way people of his type usually did, with a long beard, dirty, ragged, and with a bunch of rat traps dangling on his chest. So many poor wanderers, these people, they used to get attracted to the lights of the forge, which peeked through the window panes which were covered with the black powder of burnt coal, in hope of getting shelter there. So they would warm themselves with the help of burning fire. As the blacksmiths were accustomed to visitors of similar kind of vagabonds, so they were indifferent to the man. This time also, blacksmith was indifferent of this stranger. They just looked at him. All the smiths, they looked at the man. The rat trap seller's appearance was similar to that of other wanderers, other vagabonds. He had a long beard, was dirty, wore old, worn out clothes, and had a bunch of rat traps hanging from his chest. The rat trap seller, he asked permission to stay, and the master blacksmith nodded a haughty consent without honoring him with a single word. The tramp did not say anything. Either he had not come there to talk, but only to warm himself and sleep. The tramp is wanderer. So this rat trap seller, he also didn't say anything because his main purpose was to warm himself and to have a sleep. In those days, the Ramso iron mill was owned by a very prominent iron master. The owner of this Ramso iron mill in those days was a very ambitious, a very popular iron master, whose greatest ambition was to ship out good iron to the market, and his aim was to sell only the finest iron into the market. He watched both night and day to see that the work was done as well as possible, and at this very moment he came into the forge on one of his nightly rounds of inspection. And just to verify, just to test that everything, whatever work is being done and the goods is coming of the good quality, so this iron master, he used to come during the night and the day, both times, to check on the workers. So the owner was on a night inspection visit when this rat trap seller was also in that forge. Naturally, the first thing he saw was the tall ragamuffin who had eased his way so close to the furnace that steam rose from his wet rags. A ragamuffin is a person in rags. So obviously, the first time when he saw that rat trap seller, so the iron master at once noticed this rat trap seller, this peddler, who was sitting so close to the furnace that the steam was coming out of his torn clothes. The iron master did not follow the example of the blacksmiths, who had hardly deigned to look at the stranger. Fine. Deign means do something that one considered to be beneath one's dignity. So this iron master did not follow the example of the blacksmiths. Means he didn't do just like his blacksmiths that ignored that man who was there. So this iron master, he walked close up to him, looked him over very carefully, and then tore off his slouch hat to get a better view of his face. Slouch hat is had band on one side of the head. So this iron master, he not only went near him, but also removed the wanderer's hat that was bent to one side so that he could see the man's face clearly.